Tonight we have with us David Klinger. David's a pro cyclist and 3-time Pro World National Team member. David, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you doing?
So, as a pro cyclist on the level that you compete at, I'm sure you have trained with some of the best riders and coaches in the world. How important is oxygen delivery to endurance athletes?
It's probably one of the most important things for an endurance athlete. As soon as you start to suffocate any part of your body, you lose control of it. So if your legs start to lose oxygen, or your arms, or even your brain, you lose control of those parts of your body. The main reason why we do such long endurance training as well is that we can develop the vascular system to carry the oxygen, so that you can get as much oxygen as possible while doing hard efforts.
Gotcha. You know, most endurance athletes are very familiar with altitude training, but they're not really familiar with what is called hyperoxic training, which is training under increased oxygen levels. Have you ever done any type of hyperoxic training, and if you have, what kind of benefits did you get from it?
Yeah, this would be the first year that I've done some hyperoxic training. It just got released from the banned substance list, and as soon as they released it, I talked with my doctor, and he said yes, sure enough, that he'd let me use oxygen while training or while resting. So that was one of the first things I did when I saw that they had released oxygen from the banned substance list.
So what is the whole point of hyperoxic training? I mean, because it's almost like the opposite of altitude training, but I know that there's definitely good reasons for using hyperoxic training.
There's a banned substance that will do that for you. It's called Epogen, or you can sit there and suck on a bottle of oxygen, and you get the same effect. You get more oxygen to your bloodstream. So this has been made legal. Epogen has not been made legal. So athletes are going to have to turn to oxygen to increase oxygen levels in their body to get the performance gains that Epogen can bring.
So when you're doing hyperoxic training and you're getting that extra oxygen in, are you getting like more endurance? Are you able to push yourself past your normal limits? Are you getting faster strength gains? You know, what's the bottom line point of it?
Right. Well, no, mostly it'll be done on indoor trainers.
Okay.
And you can do it on wattage machines, so you'll probably be able to get more wattage. For sure, I know you will be able to get more wattage. I've seen it in my own tests.
Okay.
You will be able to last longer at the same wattage. Your threshold for lactate will be higher. You'll be able to distribute lactate faster. So there's a variety of gains, and there's not one bad thing about it.
Wow, that's awesome. So how did you hear about our oxygen, and what was it that attracted you to the product?
Well, when I saw that oxygen had been released from the banned substance list, I did a web search, found a portable canister of oxygen, and then checked in with USADA, and they said, yeah, you could race with it even. And I thought that would be one of the most beneficial things that I could have in my pocket while riding, especially while doing races that it took extreme duration of power, or if there was going to be a long sprint or something like that in it, you would want it just before that.
Gotcha. So you looked at it more from like, it's going to work, and what you're getting is a convenience of a small portable can that you can use like while you're riding or before you're riding or right after you're riding for recovery.
Yeah. Oxygen works for sure. I had no doubts about it. I just did not know that there was a portable container. I would have called sooner if I did.
I know when you're out riding and using like a product like ours with the small portable cans of oxygen, it's kind of hard to quantify results. Have you done any type of testing with our product to show that it's really working for you?
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who had a VO2 max test system, and we did a fairly thorough examination of, we did 10 shots before we started, and then 10 shots before we started the effort. So we did the warm-up and then 10 shots after that, and it increased the time to exertion. I lasted another, I think it was 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
With a 50% wattage gain, and the VO2 max went up. I think it was 7 or 8 points.
Wow. So you had increased endurance, you had higher VO2 max readings, and you also had higher power?
Yeah, could reach a higher gear. Yeah.
And that's just with like 20 breaths of oxygen?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Most people wouldn't think that 20 breaths of oxygen could carry you for that long of an effort at that level. That's pretty surprising.
Yeah. It's all been pretty surprising to me, just because like I said, this is my first year ever using oxygen in training, and I don't think I ever want to put it away.
A lot of athletes in other sports talk about how oxygen reduces their muscle burn when they're doing their sport. Have you found that that's true for you in cycling as well? Is it reducing muscle burn when you're cranking up a hill or stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Anytime you increase oxygen levels, you increase the transport of lactic acid, which is that burning feeling that you feel. And that's basically your pain tolerance, how much lactic acid you can take, and oxygen definitely will alleviate lactic acid at the same wattage, and I've seen it myself, especially when I did my ergo test with my buddy.
It sounds like oxygen can help you have more power, more endurance, and push yourself a little bit harder than you normally would. Do you feel that by training with oxygen, you will get faster, better results from your training?
Right. Everything that I've read on oxygen, everything I've ever known about oxygen points to that. Yeah, more oxygen, more performance gain.
Gotcha. All right, there you have it, everybody. David Klinger, 3-time Pro World National Team member, talking about the benefits of oxygen. David, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.